Okay, so we've all been there, right? You've got the best intentions. You want to be more active, but then life just kind of gets in the way. So, how do you actually bridge that gap between wanting to move and really truly doing it? That is exactly what we're going to get into. How to build a fitness habit that finally actually sticks. Let's do this.
In this quote, it really just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? It's the simple and, yeah, sometimes frustrating truth. I mean, think about it for a sec. All the important stuff in your life, your work meetings, appointments, all those deadlines, they get a spot on the calendar. So why does your own well-being get treated like, something you'll get to if there's time? This right here is our starting point.
And let's be real, later is basically a black hole where all those good intentions just vanish. We've all done it. Saying, oh, I'll get to it later feels like you have a plan, but it's not. It's just putting it off. It's probably the number one reason we all get stuck. So think of this as our official way out of that later loop. For good. So, how do we break that cycle? Well, the foundation is actually way simpler than you might think. And it's something we always seem to forget. It has to feel good. I mean, if you're forcing yourself through something you truly hate, you are fighting a losing battle from day one. Let's get into why joy isn't just some optional extra, it's the absolute secret ingredient. What's so interesting about this is the core idea from our source material. This is not about gritting your teeth and just powering through some miserable checklist of chores. Building a healthy habit should never, ever feel like a punishment. Because if the thing you're doing doesn't give you at least some kind of satisfaction, your brain is going to come up with a million creative excuses to talk you out of it. Every single time. And this leads to the next huge piece of the puzzle. You know that little jolt of pride you feel right after you've done something? That's not just some random feeling. Every single time you finish an activity, and it doesn't matter how tiny it is, you get to have that moment where you can honestly say, hey, I did that. That feeling, that's the stuff real, lasting confidence is made of. And, there's actually a name for this. It's called self-efficacy. It's really just your belief in your own ability to get things done. It's not about being perfect, not at all. It's just about feeling capable. So every time you take that short walk or you do a quick stretch, you're not just exercising your body. You're exercising that belief, making it stronger and stronger with every small win. Okay, so if finding joy is the foundation and building that self-belief is our goal, what's the actual engine that's going to get us there? Well, it all comes down to this really simple, repeatable three-step mantra. Let's break it down right now. Schedule it, do it, log it. That's it. This is the entire engine for making a habit stick, right here in 3 steps. When you schedule it, it becomes a real commitment. When you do it, you get that awesome feeling of a win. And when you log it, well, that's you consciously giving yourself credit for your effort. It's this powerful little loop that just builds on itself every single time you do it. Let's just focus on that first step for a second. When you actually put 10-minute walk into your calendar, squeezed between 2 meetings, you've done something huge. You've taken this vague idea that was just floating around in your head, and you've given it a time and a place to exist in the real world. This isn't just about being organized. It's like firing the starting pistol for a whole new behavior. And you know what's cool? Just like doing the activity builds your confidence, scheduling it builds its own special kind of confidence. Our source material calls it scheduling self-efficacy. Basically, it's that growing belief that you're in the driver's seat of your own day and your own health. You stop being a passenger, just reacting to whatever your schedule throws at you, and you become the one who's actually steering the wheel. All right, now for that super important third step, logging. But I want us to think about it a little differently. This isn't just about ticking a box in an app. Let's reframe it as recognition. It's the act of consciously, deliberately giving yourself credit. And that recognition, it's the fuel that keeps this whole engine running. And this recognition comes in 2 really powerful forms. First, you've got the internal kind. That's the quiet little pat on the back you give yourself. And then you've got the external kind, that awesome boost you feel when a friend or a coach says, hey, great job. Both are so important. The internal one builds your own personal belief, and the external one just confirms that, yes, your hard work is real and it's making a difference. Okay, so let's pull all these pieces together. When you consistently run this little loop, schedule, do, log, something really kind of magical starts to happen. The entire dynamic starts to shift, and that movement that felt like a chore you had to do, it slowly starts to feel like a choice you actually want to make. In this right here, This is the ultimate destination. This is the whole point of the process. What we're aiming for is a state of what's called self-sustaining engagement. Now, I know it sounds a little bit like a textbook term, but the idea behind it is simple, and it's incredibly freeing. Here's the key takeaway. You stop waiting around for motivation to just magically show up one day. You start creating your own motivation through your actions. The habit itself becomes the source of energy to keep going. You start moving because it feels good, because you've proven to yourself over and over that you can, and because it's just become a part of who you are. Now, look, this isn't some switch that you just flip overnight. It's a gradual thing. It all starts with that one scheduled walk, and then another one. And as you start stringing these little wins together, the reason you do it slowly shifts from an external voice saying, I should do this, to a deeply personal feeling of, I want to do this.
So this all sounds pretty good, right? But the big question is, where do you actually begin? So let's get to the most important part of all, the single, simple step you can take the minute this is over.
The whole philosophy is this: start small, go tall. Forget about this intimidating idea that you need some huge, perfect, complex workout plan to get going. You don't. You are in complete control, and the best way to start is with something that is so small it feels almost too easy.
And I really mean it when I say all movement counts. Right now, the goal isn't to become a super athlete. The goal is just to practice the loop. Schedule, do, log. So go ahead and schedule that walk to the bus stop. Log that 5-minute stretch you did while you're waiting for your coffee to brew. The specific activity is way less important than the act of just completing that cycle and giving yourself credit.
And as you get started, try this on. It's a simple but really powerful shift in your thinking. Instead of seeing movement as just one more thing on your to-do list, that, I have to go for a walk feeling, try to reframe it as a privilege. I get to move my body. I get to clear my head for a few minutes. I get to invest in myself.
So I'll just leave you with this one question. It all comes down to a single, simple action. Don't even worry about next week. Don't even worry about tomorrow. Just think about today. What is one small movement you can schedule, do, and log today?